Specifically, you've had some harsh words to say about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let me quote you something that you said about him. You said, "There's nothing progressive about a man who chooses ACN candidates capriciously in his bedroom, installs his wife as senator for Lagos State, and foists his daughter on hapless market women as the Iyaloja of Lagos State. The biggest indictment of Tinubu as a non-progressive is the difference between what he achieved as two-term governor of Lagos State and what his successor Babatunde Fashola has achieved." You seem to hate Mr. Tinubu. Why is that?
Why do you always describe this as hatred?
Well, because your criticism has been almost vicious. When I've read some of the things you've said about him.
I mean, because these are facts. How can you be a Democrat and you don't hold conventions and your party people don't choose who are going to be your governors or who are going to be your legislators, and then there is this seeming coincidence whereby members of your family show up in critical positions? Come on.
He hasn't been in government in over 8 years.
Come on, Kadaria.
No, seriously.
You know, I mean, you think Fashola can do anything in Lagos without, you know, even members of his cabinet are chosen by Tinubu? What are we talking about? Are we talking about what we don't know, or are we trying to whitewash?
I'm trying to make a distinction between rumors and things that can be proven. I'm saying to you that on the surface of it, this is not a man who holds any particular office.
Yeah.
This is a man who is surrounded by people who've been elected and put into office by an electorate, and yet we ascribe all these powers to this man and say that he's the reason why A happens, B happens, D happens. What is the evidence for that?
Well, we have enough evidence because, as I said, congresses are not held in AC or ACM. It chooses, until you contradict those things. A governor doesn't have the latitude to choose his own ministers. It has to be endorsed by the Asiwaju. So he's going to have difficulty in APC because there are other big guns he has to deal with there. So we want to see how they're going to iron this out. But on a fundamental level, man, it's not a Democrat. He didn't even win to be governor of Lagos. Somebody had to stand down for him.
If you insist on this as evidence, you know that on the outside people are going to say, well, this is just, you're just rehashing the rumors again and again and again.
It is not a rumor. Is it a rumor?
Well, that is, you've told me that this is what happens, but you've not told me the evidence for how it happens.
But you need to tell me which Congress chose Fashola to be governor of Lagos State.
He was a consensus candidate, I understand.
And Mrs. Tinubu as senator was a consensus candidate.
Yes.
Come on. If you believe that, then fine. I don't.
Your view of the other, one of the other main personalities in the APC is not any nicer. And here I'm talking about General Muhammadu Buhari. Let me read some of the things you said about Buhari. You said he's a self-imposed head of state. Buhari had no regard for human rights. Immediately he seized power, he announced that he would tamper with the press. Soon the infamous Decree No. 4 was promulgated, which made even the publication of the truth a punishable offense. Under this cover, Buhari jailed innocent journalists, including Tunde Thompson, etc., etc. He abolished civil liberties, etc., etc.
You contest any of these things?
No, I'm not saying that, but I am saying, my question is this. Buhari is no longer a military dictator. He's out of uniform. We've had people who've been in uniform and have become civilian presidents. Why shouldn't Buhari be the APC flag bearer if that is what the party decides they want to, the man they decide is going to take them to elections?
I can't prevent the APC from making Buhari a presidential candidate. But as a voice, I can tell Nigerians that he's not a Democrat. That's what I'm doing.
You mean he was not a Democrat?
He is not a Democrat.
Why are you holding his history over his head? That's the question really I'm asking.
Well,
because he's not the first military man to make the transition to democracy. As we talk
Well, then,
now,
then do a
the head
study,
of,
do a
the head of
study of
Senate,
why is it that parties collapse in Buhari, that he has to move from AMPP to CPC, and why, because the whole essence of Buhari and the party is to promote Buhari. I mean, I'm interested. Every time you form a party, it is to support your own presidential thing. If it doesn't happen, you go and form another party. Well, I want to see how it will resolve in this case. You don't form a party just because you want to be president.
to realize one man's
To
ambition.
realize
That's
one
what
man's
you're saying.
ambition. No, now that's why I want to see how they're going to manage all these, because we've got all these different people that have this track record, and I'm not going to presume that suddenly it has changed. No, I'm going to see it when it changes before making an opinion. So I will tell people, this is this man's track record. On the basis of that track record, he will be a problem for Nigeria. On the basis of Buhari's track record, he is a religious bigot. On the basis of the things that he has said, it is my responsibility to bring it to the memory of Nigerians, because some people forget.
What has he said
Because
that makes him a religious
at one
bigot?
point he told Muslims not to vote for Christians. At one point all these things are in the public place. Having a meeting and saying that the reason why Boko Haram is raging is because Southerners are at conspiracy against the North. All these kinds of things.
His pronouncements on Boko Haram have included condemning the group and calling them a terrorist group.
It is now convenient to do that. Buhari just made a new departure a few days
I don't
ago.
remember him ever supporting Boko Haram.
I don't remember
Femi
him ever
Aribisala.
attacking Boko Haram.
Well,
And we need northern leaders to come out against Boko Haram and not write the kind of thing that Yako is writing, to say that it is the government that is trying to undermine the North. This is nonsense.
No. What Inyako said, if I remember correctly, is that he believes that the insurgency has been taken advantage of and has now mutated into where people are taking advantage to attack the North. I'm not saying I agree, but I'm just saying let's quote him properly.
You are very kind. I don't whitewash. Murtala Yako is a man that I know, very intelligent, very articulate. That statement was very irresponsible for a governor to make. It's not his fault. He should have been removed under emergency rule, because at the moment now, you can't rely on, the military can't trust him. Man that makes a statement like that. The military cannot trust him. So he needs to be removed if you are really going to implement emergency rule properly in his state.
You know that your continuous criticism of APC on the pages of newspapers and the fact that these sort of utterances come out of your mouth has led some people to suggest that actually you're a closet President Jonathan supporter, and that what you want is for him to call you and give you an appointment, and that's why you're doing this.
Okay, let me answer that. I was made Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs by IBB. I refused. I was made Special Assistant to President Obasanjo when he was running for the UN Secretary General. I refused. I am not interested in public office. I don't like the PDP. I am not enamored of Jonathan's government. But democracies are about choices. And it's not, you don't have the best choice. You have to choose sometimes between two evils. When I look at the PDP and I look at the APC, there is no way that I would recommend the APC over the PDP. The PDP is a national party. It was the only national party that we have had. It has structures all over the country. That's why Buhari lost by 10 million votes. You don't overcome that overnight by haphazardly putting together an opposition and say forgetfully making only Muslims as the main party officers, inviting all kinds of disgruntled elements into your party, have no foothold in different parts of the country, and say that you are going to govern this country. No.
Now, if in the future, in the next couple of months, the APC comes up with a candidate that is neither Northern nor Muslim, or that might be maybe Northern but Christian, because all those possibilities exist. Will you change your mind, or is there nothing they can do for you to believe that they represent a better ticket than the PDP as presently constituted?
The APC would need a pedigree, for me, of at least 5 years. 5 years as APC. And there is no, I don't believe they will survive defeat as a Congress or a coalition. But they need, this is the interesting thing about this coming election. The government has been a party has been in power for 15, by the time we get to election, 16 years. Has built structures all over the country. It is really much to think that they can easily be overthrown by some structure that you throw up a few months before the election, the leadership that we don't know, even the structure of the campaign. You don't campaign until November, and then you have three months campaign to overthrow that.
And
it's not realistic as far as I'm concerned.
So what you're saying is, for Nigerians who are totally dissatisfied with the PDP government, who look at the levels corruption has reached under this administration, who look at insecurity, increasing insecurity, who look at the lack of power, and they're saying, we're not happy with this. You're saying to them they're basically stuck with this government as far as you're concerned, because nothing will represent a better alternative.
I'm saying that the APC has done its job by its very existence, because there is a possibility suddenly that in the near future you can get a party that will give PDP a run for their money, not this APC.
We're going to take a break. When we return, we talk to Dr. Aribisala about Pentecostal churches and their pastors, who he says preach the prosperity gospel, a gospel that he claims is going to take them straight to hell. Join us after the break.